Hello, everybody. I am so glad to be here today. I see all sorts of you guys have popped on already. Hello, Anne, Teresa, Cece, Nancy. So good to see you guys. Let's see, today is January 21st, 2021, and we've got yet another great project today using this month's Stamp Focus set, the Floral Sprig. And I've got a few announcements today, so we'll go through those real quick, and then we will pop on over to our project. And I just realized there's something funky going on here. Hey, there we go. All right, so let's do some announcements, shall we? All right, so this time next week, we will have finished our first virtual private virtual workshop, whatever. And I hope we have a ton of fun. I've got 10 of you all in the class and maybe a few more. So there are still seats available. You have until Tuesday of next week to sign up if you want to come. And you will get the PDF for that and all that good stuff. If you are already signed up for it, you should have received an email from me about accessing the Google Meet and getting your computer or your tablet or whatever set up for that. And then tomorrow you are going to get another email that has just a couple of little instructions on prepping some of your paper for the class. So that way you can have some of your pieces pre-cut, like your card bases and some of the larger pieces pre-cut and ready to go. And that's just going to help the class run a little more smoothly. So if you have some time this weekend to cut a few pieces of paper, that would be awesome. All right, so good to see you guys. Oh, Joni, you are in the stencil class. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I do need to pop out there today and do some comments and see what everyone is talking about, how you guys are liking it. If you have any questions, those kinds of things. Yes, so my class has started over on the Altenew Academy. The class is called Stencils Unleashed. And today I'm talking about how to take care of your stencils, and we're talking about the simple coloring stencils. And I love that project. It is so beautiful. So I'm glad you're inspired by it, Joni. And for anyone else that might be in that class, I hope you enjoy the 6 days that you have with me over there. So I'm really excited to hear what everyone thinks about it. Let's see. Joni, for the class on Wednesday, yeah, check your spam and that kind of thing. I'll double check and make sure that it's sent out to you. So double check your spam folder for sure. Okay. Oh, the alcohol, it's just isopropyl alcohol. So like you get it from the drugstore. I'll pull it out because I don't think I pulled it out in the video. It's just rubbing alcohol. It's nothing. Woo. All right, so like an antiseptic rubbing alcohol. All right, nothing earth-shattering there, but 70% is important. So 70% or greater for that when you're cleaning your stencils with the alcohol inks. All right, and that's the same thing that I use for that stencil technique that we did last week. So when I have it in my little spray container, that's what's in there is just 70% isopropyl alcohol, and that's enough to break up alcohol inks and clean up your stencils and things when you're done. Because we didn't talk about that last week. After you finish the stencil technique, how you would clean your stencil is just spray it with some more of the alcohol and just wipe it off. It will come off of your stencils without any problem. All right. So, and you know what, Ms. Tamp, I just use leftover bottles. So like, if a spray stain is running low or whatever, and I'm going to get a new one, I just save the bottle, clean it out really well, and reuse it. So I try to recycle wherever I can. All right. Teresa is in the class too. Nice to see you here today, Teresa. And Becca is out there. Good. So glad to see everybody. Okay, so the Stamp Focus for January, the private virtual workshop is coming up next Wednesday. Yes. So I get to see all of your faces, and we're going to have a great time with that. The sketch challenge, don't forget that is going on. I'm thinking I'm going to start shortening the sketch challenge so that way I can award the winners in the same month as the challenge. It just kind of works out better for my Altenew gift certificate cycles with Altenew to do it that way. So I might close it on the 27th, which again would be next Wednesday. So if you plan on playing, there's more players. So Sue, I saw you have a card out there. Yay. Ms. Tamp, do you have a card out there yet? I saw a whole bunch from Joni, which is fabulous. There's a nice little handful of cards out there. So make sure that you are joining in on the sketch challenge. So I'm going to close that, I think, on Wednesday, so a week from yesterday, and then announce the winner on Thursday at our next Running with Scissors. So it'll keep kind of everything cycled in the month, and then the new one won't start until February, but and so we'll just kind of keep it in the same month, and that'll work out better. All right, so there you go. Yeah, so Miss Tamp, you better get your card out there. Oh, Sue, you've got 2 cards up. Gotta catch up, Miss Tamp. Awesome. I think Joni has 3, so she has you all beat. Awesome. Okay, so announcements continuing on here. The February Stamp Focus Stamp and Die set has been selected, and I chose to go with a layering stamp set that is actually pretty easy to layer. So if you're new to layering stamps, this will be a good one for you, and it's very versatile. So we're going to be doing Positive Vibes. And the giveaway for this is now open. So the giveaway is only going to go through Wednesday. So share. The more you share, the more entries you get. If you go back every day, you will get a new entry just for showing up to the link. It'll add it to your number of entries. So go back every day and get a extra entry just for that. I am going to be adding in a survey. I just didn't have time to get it done, but I wanted to get the giveaway out there. So do the giveaway, come back tomorrow, and then do the survey, which will get you extra entries to the giveaway. So the giveaway is going to be for this stamp set. So let me do a little split here. So we're going to do Positive Vibes. This was a very popular stamp set when it came out earlier this year. Sue, the link for the giveaway is in the description, and it's also at the very top of the chat if you can scroll up to the top of the chat. All right, and you can share that across social media, go into Stamp Junkies and share it all over the place, and you will get credit for sharing it. You'll get extra entries for sharing. You will get extra entries when people click on the link that you shared and all that kind of stuff. So share. Do all the sharing. Anyway, so here it is, the stamp set. I love all of the sentiments in it. They're all very positive and uplifting. It is just such a cute sprig of flowers. So we're going to be doing some things during the month where we cut it apart. We're going to be doing some different coloring techniques. We'll be using the pieces in here for backgrounds and for layering and as they're intended. And then it just has the one die. It's the die that actually, cuts out the little flower. So here's what that looks like with it layered. And then it just has the one die. All right, so the reason why I'm doing a shorter giveaway is because I want you to find out if you're the winner on Thursday, a week from today. So that way, if you win this stamp set, you know it's coming to you and that you're going to get a seat in the class for free. And so what I'm doing is I'm giving away one prize that will be the stamp and die set plus a seat at the class, and then a second place I'm doing is a seat in the class. So you have 2 chances to win on that. And so if I tell you who wins next Thursday, then there's no guessing, and you just know you're going to get it, and I will get it into the mail to you, and then you will have it for almost the whole month and be able to craft along as we use this stamp set throughout the month. So you see how I'm kind of shortening things up and pushing it through. So yeah, Cece, I kind of thought that maybe you guys might have this set already. So I thought this would be a good one to use. If you have it already, that's awesome. It's going to show you a couple of ways that you can use it beyond what you've already used. So I think we're going to have a good time with this stamp set. All right. So thanks for validating my ideas, Becca. I appreciate it. So I'm glad you guys are rolling with this. You know, a lot of this is new that I'm putting in place. So it's just a little, you know, tweaking here and there to get things to run super smooth. Oh, Teresa, you have the set already as well. Okay, great. So here's the thing. Sign up for the giveaway anyway, because if you already have the set, I will give you the option to pick, you know, for me to send. We're going to be using the metallic watercolors. So if you don't have the metallic watercolors, I can send those to you instead. Or if all else fails, I can give you a gift certificate to Altenew, and we'll just run it that way. So if you already have the set, please enter in the giveaway anyway and share so everyone can hear about these fun live private virtual classes that I'm doing, and we can get more people into the class, and we can have more fun. All right, so that is it for announcements today. Awesome. So nice and generous. Yes, I try to be. Okay. Yeah, so the metallic watercolors. We're going to pair that stamp set with metallic watercolors for the class. If you look at the giveaway picture, and the class registration is open too. So you probably wait until next week to find out if you won before you register for the class, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But at least you know what the stamp set's going to be. But you can see one of the class projects in the graphics for the class and for the giveaway. So it's kind of like a country-ish look, a little shabby chic-ish, with some metallic flair. It's going to be really nice. I like that a lot. All right. So today, back to our stamp focus for this month. Floral Sprig. Continuing on. We're not going to use the die at all today. I just need the stamp set. So I'll pop that out of the way. All right. And here is our project. We're going to do a slimline card. Yes. And we're going to do some ink blending. If you looked at the stuff, do you need to do, oh, Paula, yes, I will go ahead and just register you. So you will start getting the information on that. I wanted to announce it and everything first, so you weren't getting these rando things in your email. But Paula, you don't have to worry because you're already registered on my website. So I can just run the class through and you'll get it. So you're good. All right. So this is our project for today. Super fun. It's like flowers in a galaxy, or flowers in the Northern Lights, or just flowers with a really cool blended background. Very cool. All right. And then we're going to do like a little triple stack on the Waterbrush Hello. I really love, this is one of my favorite dies. Like I feel like I'm picking this up every time to put it on something because it's just the right size. It's good for a slimline card, and it's also good for a regular A2 card. So really fun. All right. So, I'm glad to see a lot of you guys have the stamp set for next month. Yes, that's good. All right. So let's get started on this one. All right. So the colors we're using today, we're going to set even this aside because we're going to do our ink blending first. Okay. So the size for the A2 card, finished size, is this. It is 8.5 by 3.5. All right. So when you cut your piece of cardstock for your base, it ends up being 7 inches by 8.5 inches. And then you're on the 7-inch side, you're going to score at 3.5 inches. Okay, so that's going to get you your slimline size. And this fits in like a number 10 envelope. So that's kind of a nice size to have. Plus, then you only have to cut the one side. And the remainder piece that you get is actually slightly longer than the 3.5 inches here. It's closer to like 4.5. And so if you were using all 80-pound cardstock, you could actually get a cover piece and your card base, at the same time. So that works out well too. Although that doesn't work for me usually because I use the 100-pound for the card base and 80-pound for my blending and other layers. All right, let's do some ink blending. So today we're going to explore some different blending tools. I'm not going to use the Altenew ones because I wanted to try these. These are, I know you've seen these like a billion different places, right? I mean, it all started off with Picket Fence and their life-changing blending brushes that cost a fortune, by the way. Why are they so expensive? I don't know. They are makeup brushes that you can get on Amazon, right? And I have some that I got from Amazon. I have some from the stamp market. And then I got these. These are the ones from Rabbit Hole, the Rabbit Hole Designs, THRD. And I got them because they are the cheapest ones around. They're like $2.99 a piece. I got them also because they are white. And I had the ones from the stamp market, but they're brown bristles. And I don't like that because I realize I don't like that because you can't tell what the color is on the bristle. All right. So I wanted to try these and see if they performed inferior because they were cheaper. And from what I found, they do not. They perform just as well. So if you prefer this kind of blending brush, then the ones from the Rabbit Hole Designs are the best value. They're super cheap and they're a nice size too. They're not like that ginormous head and they're not the teeny tiny head. They're all the same size, this size. So I like that a lot. They're like just a little wider than an inch and what, like an inch and a half-ish tall, almost an inch and 3/4 inch tall. So I like these. All right, so we're going to use these. I have a piece of my double-sided sticky sheets from Sizzix on the back here, so that way it's not running all over the place. Okay, and then we're going to use Distress ink. We're not using oxides, we're using inks today. All right, so Speckled Egg, which is a new color. Distress Peacock Feathers, Sealess Preserves, and Spun Sugar. So yeah, Gina K, I saw hers come out. Oh, and I still have friends at Stampin' Up, and Stampin' Up just came out with brushes too. So there you go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm only going to use 2 brushes. I have one that's set up for blues and one that's set up for purples. So I'm going to work from the outside in on both colors. So I can start off with our light colors and then move into the dark colors. All right. So this one is the full size because I started getting the new colors that are coming out. I started getting them in the full size inks. When you get the bundle, it always comes with the full size. So that's what I'm getting. All right, so start off with my blue here. And I'm not afraid to super ink these. Like, I really want to get a nice saturated color. All right, yes, and I saw it. Tim Holtz is coming out with another new color. I knew he was going to. I think he said that he had like a new set of 12 and they were just going to introduce them one at a time over time. So let's see. You know, I think, yeah, so Tailored Expressions has these. Gina K has these. You can get these from the dollar store. You can get them from Amazon. The ones that I have from Amazon are really nice, but they didn't come in, they came in a whole bunch of different sizes. And I don't find a use for all the different sizes very often. I like this size. So I liked that Rabbit Hole Designs came out with just this size. All right, so this is Speckled Egg. That's about as dark as that's going to get. It's a really, I love this shade of blue. It's kind of almost like a Confederate gray. It's very nice. Reminds me of my Crayola crayon box. All right, so the next color I'm going to do is Spun Sugar, and I'm going to do that on this side. Kind of more down in this corner and bring it up a little bit at an angle like I did the other one here. Oh, and it looks like I do have a little bit of Sealess Preserve still on here, so it's going to be a little darker than I probably wanted it to be. That's okay. And I don't mind going too far with these because I know that I'm going to add my other colors over them. And I want to make sure that I get a good blend. So using the small cubes and these brushes works well too, which is probably another reason why I like this size brush head, because they work well with the small inks and the large inks. But see, look at what I'm always doing. I'm always kind of holding the head. If I go back here, you're definitely going to get a much lighter blush of color because this neck is so, it's a little flimsy. So a lot of times I'm bringing my hand up here and holding it this way. All right. I know some people can't do that because they are arthritic or whatever. So, you know, different brushes work better for different people. Sometimes I just like to have this kind of handle and do it this way. I could say that like with the Altenew ones, even though they're ergonomic, I think some people might have problems holding those. So I'm glad that there's options out there for people. Okay, so let's go back to this side and do the Peacock Feathers. All right, so I don't want to have a hard line here. I kind of want this to blend. So I'm not going to come up to this line to begin with. I'm going to start more towards the center. And then let it fade out into the peacock feather, or into the speckled egg. So I'll have darker in the center and then move my way out. So this is a really nice color combo. If you were looking for something that goes well with speckled egg, Peacock Feathers blends really nicely into that. See, so we've got a pretty nice blend there. All right, so Distress ink over Distress Oxide. You're going to keep this really nice saturated color. With the Distress Oxides, you're going to always end up with more of a chalky look. So if you have a lot of oxides and you sometimes are not happy with the blend because it gets chalky, then maybe you want Distress inks instead of Distress Oxides. All right, so this last color is Seedless Preserves, one of my favorites. Almost used the wrong brush there. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to start more towards the middle and work my way out so I can have less on the brush and still work it into the spun sugar. All right, and so if you didn't know, the Distress inks come in both inks and oxides. It's the same colors. And they actually work well together. You can mix and match your inks with your oxides to get different layers and looks and things like that. All right, so another great color combo to go from Seedless Preserves to Spun Sugar gives you a really beautiful fade. And then Peacock Feathers and Seedless Preserves makes a really, really cool purple. All right, so what I'm doing now is I'm taking my Seedless Preserves and I'm blending it back into the Peacock Feathers. Okay, so it's blending back into here, but this is kind of a hard line, but I can take my Peacock Feathers and come back around the other way. Yeah, and I was surprised that the Altenew small brushes didn't have the same shape, that they decided to go with just like a little spherical design. I thought for sure it was going to be like a little mini handle, which would have been totally adorable. All right, so you see how I got this really cool purple in here now? That's a mix of the Seedless Preserves and the Peacock Feathers. Yeah, so Nancy, yeah, the makeup brushes. Yep, so these are just like them, and they are relatively cheap as well. So I'm pretty happy with these. So again, if you're looking for this style, I recommend the ones from Rabbit Hole Designs. Cost effective, the right size, and the white bristles I think I like better than having colored bristles. All right, my hands are kind of tired from that. Beautifulness. Look at that gorgeous blend. All right, so almost like a navy blue in the center. All right, so that is the end of our inks. I need to wipe off my space here before I get my hands in it, though. Okay, let me move a few things. Grab. So I'm going to use my my large, or this is the original size Misty, because we're going to put that stamp across the bottom. And this one, obviously, this size will not fit in the mini Misty because it is too long. Now, you don't need a stamp positioner for this process. You could definitely use just a block if you wanted to. I have all these things in the way. Yeah, you know, Teresa, it's interesting because you can use lots of different inks for blending, right? You can use your Altenew inks for blending if you want. However, the formulation of Distress inks and oxides is just really great for blending. It's like they're designed to be good blending inks. So there's definitely something to be said for going for that. Okay, so I'm actually going to move this. I don't need this piece on the back anymore. All right, I'm actually going to move this down a little bit because I want to have some of these pieces kind of like so going off both ends. All right. So now it's just about creating a galaxy of these guys. And oh, you know what I forgot? I had them pulled out before and I thought, oh, I don't need them. I did a whole bunch of masks. All right. So you don't have to use masks for this look, but if you want to have them look a little cleaner, you can do this. So this is the Altenew masking paper. And I find that it's a little on the sticky side. All right. So, but what I also discovered is that you can use the backing paper as a mask too. Okay. So, and then this is just another random piece that I have. Okay. So this one, because I realized that I was cutting these masks out the wrong direction. Oh, there we go. So I thought that the patterned side was going to be the sticky side. So I put them all in that way, but that's not. The sticky side is actually the plain paper side. So this is actually like not going to work because it's going the wrong direction. So I did that like 3 times. I was like, what are you doing, Nicole? Okay, so see, this is the plain paper side. This is the pattern paper side. The pattern paper side is actually the backing. So see, now I have a good one. But I can use these pieces too as masks as well. So I have all sorts of masks. I have one that's sticky and the rest are not. So there we go. Yeah, guys, I know Altenew is sending out an incentive stamp. I have not gotten mine yet. I saw people are sharing it over in the fan group, which is awesome. Okay, so today I'm using VersaFine Clair, but you can use your Obsidian Black for sure. That's going to get you the same look, obviously. All right, so one floral sprig. And I'm going to mask it. Maybe. All right, so I did use the dye to make these masks, which means that there's going to be like a little space. And you can either leave it, you know, a space in between the flowers, and you'll see that when I get more of these on here. You can either leave it or you can use a black journaling pen or whatever to fill it in. All right, so I'm just placing these guys randomly, and I'm kind of doing like a little bit of an arc. They're going to come down a little lower on the sides here. So this is going, it's going to go all the way across because the sentiment's going to go right over it. So we're making just like this floral background here. All right, so number 2. And the only reason I have to clean this off in between is because I'm picking it up and placing it back down. All right, so now I've got all of these like backings and things like that. The ones that have the pattern paper on the back work better. So I'm going to use my temporary adhesive and just use these as another mask. So this side is the glossy side, the side that was originally stuck to the other piece of mask. And that works just fine. So let's say I'll put one there. Oh, no, I could do that. I was going to move it all up, but I got it. There we go. So Teresa, Tulip Status, you have to go and check out their rewards program, their loyalty program on Altenew. It's the little crown logo right next to the search icon on the top bar of their website. And it'll tell you what all of the different levels mean. And yeah, you have to buy from Altenew directly to get the incentive stamps, I think. Okay, so yet another mask. And then I'm going to put one more on this side. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to come back around on the other side. And do the same. So you can see I really only needed like 3 masks, not even 3 masks. I could have gotten away with 2 for sure. All right, so I'm going to move this one, and you'll start to see this come together. This is totally freeform, so you can do as many or as few as you like. You can set them up however you want on here. Every time it's going to look different. I mean, unless you're doing like a mass stamping and you're putting like 3 or 4 through at a time and then you've got it all in the same place. All right, so let me put this guy. Actually, that one can come off too. And I'll put one kind of up here. I think they do the incentive stamps twice a year. I want to say that I got one earlier. I think I got 2 last year. There we go. All right, so I think I forgot to put this on the supply list for today. So I'll make sure that I put some masking paper on the supply list for today. And also needs a journaling pen if you're going to do that. So let's do that. Take off these guys here. There. So that was kind of a nice surprise that I was able to use that extra backing. I threw this on the floor thinking that I wasn't going to need it anymore, but use it to clean off my misty. All right. There we go. So there's that. And these are the fine liners from Altenew. You can use any black journaling pen. I recommend using a journaling pen over a Sharpie because no, I don't want that to. It sometimes Sharpies are kind of like a purple black. All right, so I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about here. Excuse me. So you see like where this flower comes together and there's that other leaf behind it and there's a space in between the two. You can totally leave that if you want, but that's because I used the die to cut out the masks. So, you know, the die is always a little bigger and it cuts out that little white bit around all of your images. That's what that's from. So the mask was slightly bigger. So I'm just going to take my journaling pen here and very carefully finish those lines so that they meet up with whatever is in front of it. And you're just kind of guessing. No one's going to know exactly what it's supposed to look like. You just want to keep that arc going. And like, see, this one has a couple of leaves that are going to go through. So I'm actually going to kind of finish both of them. Got that one. Got that. Honestly, you could totally skip this step. No one's ever going to say anything about it. But if you like are compelled to do this, that's how you would do it. Looks good. And then this here. All right, so that kind of connects all of them together. All right, and there, now you've got like a super duper close up. Yeah, the personalized stamp that Altenew sends out usually is for like the back of the card. I have an earlier one. Actually, I have 2. So here's a couple that they've sent out before. This one It says handmade by, and it's got my name on it, which is really awesome. I mean, think about them getting all of these created individually for each customer and sending them out. Isn't that crazy? And like making sure that it goes to you. It's amazing to think about that they do that. So that one, and then this one here also, made with love by me. So they're designed for the back of your card, which is super nice. Although that would be a really great idea. You could send that to their support address and say, hey, I really love the personalized stamps. Maybe next time you could send a personalized return address stamp. Ooh, that would be awesome. I don't know that they would do that. That might be kind of expensive. I don't know. All right, so I have a little bit of gunk here from my masking. I don't know what that is. That's okay. There we go. Okay. So that needs some spatter. So let me move things out of the way here. Get one of my sheets. All right, so I've got black soot and picket fence. And I think I'm going to have to do some research on picket fence because every time I do it, it ends up just usually looking like water. I thought it, like every once in a while, I'll get a really nice drop that looks white. But a lot of times it looks just like water. So I don't know. All right, so I'm going to start with the black soot because this is going to dry faster. All right, and I am going to use a combination of a paintbrush and the little spray wand inside. All right, so that gets me some bigger splatters. And then if I use a brush, I'm going to get some smaller ones. All right, so there is black splatter. And I want to clean up. It's just a junky brush. Yeah, you know what? I haven't tried whiteout. I totally should. I've tried a lot of different mediums. Like I've even tried white gouache. And a lot of times it does the same thing that the white picket fence does. So I don't know. Does real whiteout work better, Becca? Because that's an Amazon buy. Okay, so there we go. So let me show you. Yeah, I think the new incentive stamp from Altenew, or the one that they sent out to customers, does not have the name on it this time. I think it was just a stamp. All right, so let's show you what the white looks like. So it goes on really nice, and I'm like, oh, I really like the way that looks. And then when it dries, it's going to just totally fade. Oh, you haven't tried yet. Okay. Well, if you have some whiteout, do give it a try and let us know. And I'll await your assessment. Oh, see, I got gunk on my hands. All right, so the white is going to take a little bit of time to dry, but that's fine because we need to do our dyes. And I keep dropping my rag. Yeah, so I have my phone right here in front of me so I can make sure that the stream is running okay. And it now has white splatter. That's awesome. So you can see how some of this is already starting to fade. I hope some of these stay darker. I don't have high hopes. Maybe I'll have to reach out to Tim Holtz, see what he says. Or check out some of his videos and see what he says. All right, so die cutting. I think I'm truly done with this now. It's going on the floor. Got my mini blossom, and we're done with our black. We're done with all of that. Waterbrush Hello Die. Excellent investment if you don't have this one. I highly recommend it. It's just teeny tiny little dots, and I've got a there's a cover on my phone, so it'll come right off. I'm not worried about it. All right, and I've got 3 pieces of cardstock here. So I've got a piece of white, so let's run that through. Oh, so this was the leftover piece that I had from cutting down my card base, and it's not wide enough. So sometimes I do this. This is a piece of 100-pound cardstock. Sometimes I do that if I want something like that's just a little bit extra thick. But when you do that, sometimes it says it doesn't want to cut. Let's see if it'll go through. So I could use the shim. I want to see if a second cut will get it. I think that did it. Yes. All right, so a white one. And then these 2 colors, this is Plum by Hero Arts. I love this color. Apparently my cardstock's just a little too big. So Mini Blossom only has, it's 3 inches wide. All right, so Plum. And then this last color, I think is called Peacock. And this is by Lawn Fawn. And it is also too wide. Mini Blossom. Done. Okay, so now I have my 3 die cuts. There we go. And I do need to pop out the little centers here. And I thought about just stacking these right up so you would just see the little color difference on the side. But in the end, I decided to do a offset to make them like shadowed. And I really liked the way that looked. All right. So there we go. And let me pull you in a little closer. Okay, so I've got my 3 colors and I've got my card base here. And I was trying to decide like what order they should go in, and it really worked out best if I did the purple first to kind of help pop it off of here, and then bring in the blue and then the white on top. Okay, so the easiest way to glue these together, you can use this glue. You can use your two-way glue pen if you like it and it's cooperating with you. Okay, mine generally does. Like I said from last week, I keep it facing downward, and once I've got this nib cleaned out, it's been working really well. Let's see if it's, yep, see, look at how nicely that's coming out. So I'm just putting glue on the right side because the left side is where it's going to be offset. Right, and then I can lay this down. Now, however far you come over on this is just kind of the distance you want to maintain as you go all the way across. Not hard to do. And if you're using a liquid glue like this, and it's it allows you to kind of move things around a little bit as you need to get them in the right place. If you're using a, like if you put double-sided adhesive sheets on here, then you might have a little bit more of a problem trying to get everything aligned. All right. Yeah, Teresa, it's kind of crazy. The 3 next week on Wednesday, the 3 additionals at the virtual workshop, the nice thing about those is that they work together as a set. So even though they all are distinctly different, they use the same products. So that's kind of nice too. It almost makes them into like a gift giving suite. You could give them away as a trio if you wanted to, which is kind of nice. So that's how I'm approaching these classes, is that like for the private workshop, instead of saying you need all these things, we're working with a curated list of items, and we're going to use them on all of the projects to give you 3 distinct looks, but like the same color palette and things like that. So there, offset, offset with the purple and the blue. Super cute. Yeah, so when you get the PDF, you're going to have all 4 projects from the month. You'll have pictures from that. You'll have links to the product lists if you need those. You'll have links to the videos from the live streams for those. And then for the, and then it'll also include the 3 projects that we're going to do on Wednesday at the private class. And you will have pictures from those and links. Now, one thing that I'm doing differently than Altenew is the video. You will be able to access the video until I decide to take it down. So it's not, I don't think it's going to be on YouTube. I might upload it to my Amazon server and just serve it to a page on my blog, a private page that you can access, that you're going to be able to access. That's what you'll have access to next week with the PDF. It'll be like a custom page that has the PDF and all of the videos linked right there for you, so you can access all of the classes at the same time, which would be really nice. And then it'll have the video from the live stream. So I'm not quite sure if I'm going to break that up into the 3 separate projects, or if I'm just going to have it all up there completely. So I'll figure it out though. All right, so there we go, card base. And see, this worked out well this time. I think what you have to do is get like bigger blobs of white on there, because the smaller ones that didn't have a lot of ink on them really melted into the color, but these bigger ones actually stayed more white. So I'm happy with the results on this one. This one I did actually put water on as well, and I thought it was too much. So you could put water on there and then take your paper towel and lift the ink off, but it was just too much for me. So I like it better with just the black and the white. All right, so now I've got this whole finished element here. And I'll use my Tombow to adhere this one. Oops, I want to get this little end here. All right, so we can just pop this off to the side. All right, and then we'll end with some enamel. This is Shades of Purple. This is a newer set of colors. They have not always had this one. And I've been doing a lot of little embellishment ads lately. So what I do I like to do the largest and the smallest together, and then the medium one off on its own in some sort of triangular pattern. So, you know, I could put it here or here. That would still make it a triangle. I put it at the end of the hello. Kind of like hello period. And there we go. So that is our third card for the month. Yeah, I like sequins too. I really do. This would look really great with some gold sequins on here just to add a little touch of something different. But I like the subtlety of using the enamel dots. This could be a masculine card. You could give this to a guy. I think it's got enough cool things going on in it that you could totally give this to a guy. Now, if you thought that he wouldn't appreciate the floral bit of it, I would swap these out for geometric line images and just stamp them all over and overlap them. So I just gave myself an idea. Anyway, yeah, we'll go from there. There we go, guys. So can you believe it? An hour already over. For those of you that are joining me next week for the virtual private class, if you do have any questions about accessing the Google Meet link and things like that, double check that email. Email me if you have any questions. I will be in the room early so we can troubleshoot any issues. I do have the class kind of set up for 90 minutes, though we might go to 2 hours. It just kind of depends on how we go with technical difficulties. But I think we're going to have a really great time. And I'm so excited to see you guys, your shining faces in person. So I'm so glad that we're going to be doing this. Anyway, if you have not signed up for the private virtual class for January, next Wednesday is when it is. It's from 1 to 3 U.S. Central Time. If you can't make it, you can sign up for the class anyway and get access to the replay. I'm thinking about offering that separately down the road, like in case you want to access all of that, but I need to talk with the class participants first and see if they're okay with me sharing their faces through that. But we'll go from there. And yeah, and then we're going to have the PDF and all that good stuff. So you're going to have lots of great resources for this stamp set. So I've really enjoyed this month so far, and we've got one more live and of course the virtual class to go. So I am going to sign off, guys. And if you have any questions or any requests for things that I can share on my YouTube channel, I'd love to hear from you. You can email me anytime. You can leave a comment down below in the discussion, and I check that stuff all the time. Anyway, guys, I will see some of you on Wednesday. I'll see all of you on Thursday. Don't forget about the giveaway that goes on now through next Wednesday. And don't forget about the sketch challenge, which also goes through Wednesday of next week. So I will see you guys soon. Have a great weekend. I hope you get some crafty time in there. Oh, and be sharing your stuff. I've seen some of you sharing out on Instagram the projects that you're working on in the and in the Altenew fan group, the projects that you're working on based on what we've done here. And I love seeing that. It just makes my heart so happy. So keep doing that, and I will share some of those back out on my page too. So I will see you guys soon. Have a great weekend. Be crafty, and I'll see you then.